Hey everybody, welcome to the Topcats Lair, or Lair, whatever. Yeah, I've just given you guys an update because it's been too long. Notice I dyed my hair blonde. It's kind of already growing back with the blackness, and my beard, as it grows out more, it gets more blonde, which is, I don't know why, it's kind of a reddish blonde thing. My hair's usually black, as you will obviously know if you've seen my other videos. Anyway, I just want to say a few things. Avengers, go see it. That's why I dyed my hair blonde. I've seen it 3 times. I want to see it again. And there's a movie coming out in Melbourne at the Nova Theatre and the Astor. It's also being released Australia-wide, but not theatrically wide. It's about only in 1 or 2 theatres throughout Australia. It's called Cabin in the Woods, and if you liked Avengers and you like the movie Scream or Evil Dead or Friday the 13th in a fun, silly way, or Buffy, or Joss Whedon. He wrote it alongside Drew Goddard, who wrote some of the best Buffy and Angel episodes. He co-wrote the Conversations with Dead People episode of Buffy, and he wrote Cloverfield, and he's directing this one, and collaborated with Joss Whedon on the script. And if you're wondering, I don't know, Joss Whedon doing a horror, think about what Buffy is. It's a story about a cheerleader who usually gets killed at the start of horror movies, and then she turns into a superhero that kills vampires. Basically, avenging all the blonde-haired cheerleaders of previous horror movies. Single-handedly. Yeah, he is the master of turning things on their head, and apparently that's what happens in Cabin in the Woods. Everything gets turned on its head, and nothing is as it seems. I recommend you don't see the trailer or many of the interviews. I'll probably link a good non-spoilery interview so that you get more of a sense about it and what people thought about it. Yeah. Anyway, another thing that I want to talk about is things that are pissing me off. The what's the game? Telltale Games. They're not releasing a console version of the Walking Dead game. This pisses me off because they didn't even put it through the rating system. And this is not so much that they're pissing me off as much as they're kind of making a statement, but also, while they're making a statement about sucky old rating system that costs a bunch. People have to pay so much money, more than most other places, to try to get a game released here. By putting it through the rating system, and if they get banned, if their game doesn't get through, they don't get that money back. That money's gone, and that is stupid. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So yeah, and they said that they weren't going to do it basically within the week prior to its release. They could have said this a while back, before I got all hyped up about it, with all their videos and their advertisements going, oh, check this out, this is going to be awesome, and how cool is the story going to be, and it's going to be branching storylines, better than Mass Effect, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, great, and then not so great, because I was a huge fan of the Back to the Future game, which, if you're a Back to the Future fan, I can personally guarantee it's a great story. And they got the people who made Back to the Futures in on it, and it's great. But yeah, this bullshit of not releasing the console version. I mean, you can't in Australia. Even leads me to another thing I'm pissed off. You can get it on Steam if you're a PC person, but my PC is... it still has a rear projection monitor. So, yeah, not good. Yeah. That leads into another thing I'm pissed off. Australian PlayStation Network. I love you, PlayStation, but whoever's running your Australian PlayStation Network has his head up his ass. Okay, it's been established. Telltale Games do not have the game being released here. Alright? If you have an American account, you'll see how much content they get opposed to what we get. And it's like pitiful. Pitiful. It's felt like in recent times that Australia's been just looked at as an entertainment backwater, with Cabin in the Woods nearly not getting a theatrical release, with this, the Walking Dead game, just so many times we just get looked on, oh, it's Australia. They're not really passionate about this or that or the other, and they're not really giving us a lot of money, so what the fuck. That's why I love Kickstarter. Oh my gosh, how cool is Kickstarter? It allows people to bypass all the stupid producers who put their hand into games and movies and everything, every project, because they have money. And then they make a shit ton of money out of something that they didn't really create, and that they put their hand into and changed in a way that made it less than what it was. I'm concerned about BioWare, my favorite game company. I'm going to say this. Favorite game company. And after EA took over, because Dragon Age Origins, and people are going to go, well, you like Dragon Age Origins, what's with that? Dragon Age Origins was well into production before EA took over. They took Dragon Age Origins and then from then on, their games haven't been what they were. I mean, Mass Effect 2 did some improvements, but it also lost a lot of the epicness of the first Mass Effect because it was pushed out the door in a way. And then Mass Effect 3 has a lot of problems. That'll be another vlog for another time. Anyway, and we all know about Dragon Age 2. But I will put a link in the description about what I think about Dragon Age 2, and that I actually liked some of the changes, but there was a huge amount that was taken out of it, and everybody knows about the... Okay, here's something I have to say to people who bag a company out about one thing in a game. Alright, when a game fails, it's not due to one thing. The one thing is the one thing that everybody remembers. Like the ending of Mass Effect 3, right? Or in Dragon Age 2, the repeating models for the location models. Just recycled locations, right? There are other things wrong with the game that they won't fix because you're focusing on those one problems and making a huge campaign about those one problems. Make campaigns that describe your other issues with the game. And that's what I like to do when I do a kind of a rant or review, is to describe exactly everything that was wrong and everything I liked as well, that they can improve on or increase the amount of, or, you know. Anyway, description below will give you a better idea of what I thought of Dragon Age 2, because it'll show you not just the recycled, it'll talk about not just the recycled areas, and it's more about the actual game than the story and the characters, because that's a whole different, that's personal taste, in my opinion. If you don't like a story or the characters, sometimes it's just personal taste. And for me, in Dragon Age 2, the story wasn't my thing. It focused too much on the Templar versus Mage thing, but really, it wasn't the worst thing ever. Alright? It had a different format to Dragon Age Origins. It had more of a TV series format where they would leave, it was very episodic, you know, and not one single storyline. It was, you know, and they had little clues throughout, and then it led to the ending. But I didn't mind it as much, but it didn't really give me that impact that the previous game had, and the previous story and characters had. But that being said, there are awesome characters in it. Varric and Aveline and Meryl and Fenris. I didn't like Anders. There are a lot of Anders fans out there, but I'm telling you, I preferred him in Awakening. But, yeah. Even, you know, I at first liked Bethany more, but I want to play it through again, getting Carver, because that seems more juicy a storyline, because, you know, the conflict of brothers, and I have 3 brothers in real life, so yeah, that'd be interesting to play. Anyway, back to, and, okay, down in the description it'll explain what I think about the gameplay, which I had issues and likes and dislikes with. Okay, PSN. Yeah, here's my problem, guys. Alright, let's see if you can see. Alright, new this week. Alright, going into new this week. Oh, Dead Space bundle. I've gotten a few of the Dead Space things already, but Dead Space bundle is still worth it. Not the super bundle, the DLC bundle, which I'm gonna purchase because it let's see if you can see that. Oh, it's backwards because I'm mirrored, but it's $16 basically, and it's well worth it because it's $16 for all the DLC, which is handy. I've got most of the DLC already, but $16 is about right. It's still cheaper to get the remaining DLC. Similar thing happened with me with Dragon Age Origins. I'd bought some of the DLC, but still cheaper than buying the DLC on the PSN, which is ludicrous, to buy it in real life. And it'll be on a disc forever, and I'll be able to give it to friends and family, and they'll be able to put the DLC on their PlayStations, and awesomeness will ensue. Anyway, that's not what I'm concerned about. This is what I'm concerned about. Okay, get the videos for your Walking Dead here, if you can't read this backwards. A 5-part game series set in the blah 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 blah. Okay, do not... Australian PSN, we've established that it's not on there, and it's not going to get released on there. So don't... take that down. You go inside, alright, I want to get videos about it. No content was found. Alright? Because there isn't any. You're copy-pasting, basically, Australia PSN, copy-paste the UK PSN, for the most part. And it just shits me. And what's this? Marines, the few, the proud. It's show your support for the US Marine Corps with this official Marines dynamic theme. We're not American. You know, big respect for American troops, but come on. Why do we have Marine Corps support the Marines in America when we've got soldiers, we've got... Why don't we have one? Anyway, I'll catch you later on the Topcats Lair, or the whatever. Stupid.